Let's now shift focus to the big story that we are focusing on in this bulletin. Olympic medalist Lovlina Borgohain's personal coach Sandhya Gurung's accreditation has been sorted now, and she is going to be allowed to train Lovlina Borgohain after the Sports Authority of India intervention in this entire matter. Now, this is coming just ahead of the Commonwealth Games. Now, the issue is now sorted, but not before she had to take to social media in utter desperation, alleging harassment. Why did this problem arise in the first place, and why was action taken only after outrage? Joining us to discuss this is Mishra, author and former national badminton player, and Manoj Rana, coach, joining us this afternoon. Thanks very much for joining us. Before I begin this discussion, I want to read out some portions of Lovlina's Twitter post. Now, she said, "The coaches who helped me win an Olympic medal are always being sidelined, which has severely impacted my training schedule. One of the coaches is Sandhya Gurung ji," she writes, "who is a Dronacharya awardee. I had to plead with folded hands to get my coaches included in the contingent. I'm feeling mentally harassed because of this ordeal." And she goes on to write, "Right now, my coach Sandhya Gurung is standing outside the CWG village and not being allowed to enter. Just 8 days before the start of my event, my training schedule has been hampered. My other coach has been sent back to India." So this is the ordeal of an Olympic medalist. Manoj Rana, let me come to you first. This is India's star athlete, one of our medal hopes in international events. She had to take to social media alleging harassment. What's going on?
Thank you, sir. Thank you for joining us. Actually, this is the problem nowadays. It's a very big problem in each and every sports, because when the big events comes like a Commonwealth Games, Olympic Games and Asian Games, so a lot of people are activate behind this. Actually, this is the internal politics about the federations. I know the Lovlina coach personally, because in 2018 also, me and the coach, we both are together in Australia. So the same problem was happened. So this kind of problems, actually it's an internal problem, and the ministry and SAI have to think about this. They have to create some policies about this, because otherwise the performance will happen always. So it cannot be happen with the athletes anywhere. So in my opinion, the ministry and SAI has to take up the case.
Neeraj Mishra, have you in your career encountered these systemic issues? I mean, these things that coach be included in the contingent, why does athlete have to fight for it?
This is good evening, good afternoon, everyone. It has been continuously going on. After so much of putting pressure, this pressure from the athlete or player, people are not listening at all. If you remember, the same thing happened with the Monica Batra also. When she was playing, she was going, I don't remember the exact event, but this has been keep on going on, and people are not listening. And the association, people at the top of association, they are ignoring everybody's demand. They are not even considering the players' demand, their coach. They want to send their own favorites. This is very, very...
Manoj Rana, you know, yes.
Sir, this is not going to help at all. This is not going to help at all to the game, especially the individual game. Individual game, the same girl will be practicing with the same coach for years. Now suddenly you are sending with some other coach with her. How can you compete?
Manoj Rana, who is responsible for this accreditation? You know, an athlete's job is to work on the sport, and in Lovlina's case on the Commonwealth Games just days away, not sort out these bureaucratic issues.
Actually, sir, the system is the federations have to send the core probable name to the IOA, and the main concerns about the accreditation is only the federations. Federation will send the name to IOA, then IOA IOA send all the core probable name. Then federations send the final names. So only the federations and associations are responsible for the accreditations. After the athletes request, maybe SAI has come forward and they sort out these issues. but the only federations can do this system clean.
But are personal coaches not included in the contingent? That's what I'm trying to understand. Where does the problem lie? Because this was a personal coach. Is it not included in the contingent by default? Does exceptions have to be made for personal coaches?
Sir, actually, what is the personal coach? First, we have to understand what is the personal coach. Personal coach who is accompanying the athletes from last various years, like 5 years and 7 years. So what happened nowadays, the federations create a core probable group for coaches also. And maybe some revenge and some discriminations, they will not allow personal coaches to the camps also and to the competitions also. But the high top athletes, always it's the bond between players and the coaches. If we broke this bond, so it will directly hamper to the athlete performance. So that's why I am saying the ministry and SAI have to take this action and create some policies about this, because it is happening in each and every sport nowadays. If you are thinking like Lovlina faced this problem, Manika Batra also faced, like gymnast Ashish Kumar, Aruna Buddha Reddy, lot of people facing these problems.
Yes. Neeraj Mishra, if an Olympic medalist is going through this, what happens at the lower rungs for junior athletes? There are challenges of training, equipment, the sponsorship, and then this.
Sir, what is happening is the SAI has made a list of coaches. For that list of coaches, they send it to the association. And the association, they also approve that list without asking the player, who's your coach, to whom would your training, knowing also if he or she's training with her, they will not going to incorporate that name into the list. That same list, they send it to IOA, and IOA clears it. Here, what is the issue is there is no synchronization between player, association, state association, national association, and SAI. So we have to come with a specific list or a specific, you can say, guideline. Like this girl has been trained by her own coach. Why that coach name is not being included from the first list only? And this is going on. Yes. This is going on continuously.
Mr. Mishra, you've been a player. You are author. You've tracked sports very closely. Tell us, how does it happen for contingents of other countries, for example, and what needs to change over here? Let's talk about solutions here. What needs to change?
I think the SAI has to come with a specific report of SAI, Sports Authority of India should come with a broad mind. They should include name. They should ask player also to who's your coach. It starts from there only. So association and SAI has to come with the coordination, asking whether their preference should be player, not with their own coaches.
Yes, the player has to be given priority. Manoj Rana, finally, an athlete has to be at the top of the game, participating in international events. If he or she has to win a medal, the coach is key in that training. If you don't have your coach, how does that impact your training? How crucial is your personal coach in your training?
Sir, deeply I can understand these things, because it was happened with me also twice, with my gymnast also in 2018 and 2014 also, because our athletes was there and we are out from the contingent, we stay out from the village, so it directly hamper your performance. Like if it's like a mother and kids, like a child believe in her mother, so this can happen like this, because mother and kids, they both have very close relations. Same like in an athlete also, because athletes totally rely on the coaches. Those are working from last several years. So this bound, maybe you can understand better.
All right, Neeraj Mishra and Manoj Rana, thanks very much for speaking to us, joining us and telling us what are the challenges that the athletes face. Yes, Mr. Mishra, very quickly.
I want to add one more thing. Now the game has become traveled so far that not coach, even her physio, her doctor, all should be they should, whoever is going, they should know, the physio should know what therapy is going on. And current day sports, physio also plays a major role,
Yes.
coach and physio. It has to be considered by the government, otherwise our sport will not reach that level which we want.
All right, perhaps what Lovlina has said may bring about some change there so that the systems are better streamlined. The coaches, the players don't have to struggle to get their coaches included into the contingent for the international games. Thanks very much for speaking to us, Mr. Mishra and Mr. Rana. We are stopping for a short break. Lots more on the other side. Stay with us.